Because on the feed they still. Okay, it's not good. It's good. Yeah, and on the feed there is. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming live from the Dome, Circuit Month, and I'm going to be your commentator for this Pacific semi-final match. I am WK Nekoto, and I'll be joined by a few analysts after a while or in the commentary box. The semi-final is very interesting because we have two new teams that have recently been um, constituted or formed. One in the Far Northern Volleyball Association and one in the Central Volleyball Association. The Far Northern Volleyball Association team has Namibia Correctional Service representing Correctional Service, and Kudos Sports Club that was formed last year in the Central Volleyball Association. These players are taunting themselves, and we have some war cries that are very intimidating. So what they are going to be doing is a spike on 4, where the players will then be attacking the ball from position 4, and then thereafter they will move into position 2 and then serve. This is basically done just to get the players hand feel with the ball at the same time their swings, and just to hype themselves up for what we expect to be again a humdinger of a match, just like the one that we saw of KNVC and DTS. That was a very interesting one. Unfortunately for KNVC, albeit beating DTS 2 sets to 1, they missed out on the semi-final participation due to a ratio difference, and that made DTS the top seeded team and Correctional Service as the second best team in Group B. It was an outright win for Kudos Sports Club, as they won their preceding matches, or their matches, 2 sets to 0. Apart from the first match that they played with one of the Central Association counterparts, Happy Do, which they took by 2 sets to 1. It was also quite a fairly interesting match, just as all the matches in the group of death, especially where Correctional Services was involved with DTS, Nampol, United, and Navy. So it's not going to be an easy play. We are seeing the attackers coming out and trying to prove their numbers. We're also seeing the blockers showing how best they would want to get this match over and done with. One thing that is very interesting here during the tournament is that the factors of curfew are also coming into play, COVID-19 regulations, as well as then the number of people allowed in one setting or gathering in the 2 hours regulation. So hence you're seeing that the match has no spectators, and the Volleyball Federation has made efforts and attempts to bring the game right at the comfort of your TV set, smart TV set if that is, your mobile phone, and all that. All you need to have is data, sufficient data, and as well as then a mobile device or a TV device that you'll be watching from. The competition is sponsored by Bang Windhoek, who has been the main sponsor for this competition over the past 4, if not 6 years. And in the same vein, it has also been dedicated by Bang Windhoek and the Namibia Volleyball Federation to Mr. Brent Hoffman, who has been a grassroots developer for the sports of volleyball, or for the game of volleyball here in Namibia, more especially at the grassroots. He made attempts at, with all efforts, to have this game visible by bringing in the school sports development at the same time also community volleyball development where people, men and women, children, would then partake, just to bring the strength of the game to that of soccer. Um, Volleyball in Namibia has been played almost in all regions, but it has been very strong in the northeastern, northwestern regions, and it has now also become very significant and integral in the central, um, and the the far central or northern central regions. And when we talk about the north and far north regions, that is Oshana, Omsati, Ohangwena, Oshikoto, Kunene, and central northern we speak of, which is on Jupa and part of Erango. And then in the central we've got your Commerce region, which hosts a lot of strong teams, you know. And then we also have the Omaheke region that is also upcoming, as well as the Southern Volleyball Association. We could hear the war cries of the teams, putting up significant songs of war cry, songs of motivation, songs of inspiration, and one could just wish to be seeing the fans and the spectators also singing along or being in chorus with their teams. Volleyball without spectators, in one way or another, is quite, one will term it low key, but due to the pandemic, one has now to do with alternative methods and innovate on how best to just to make it more entertaining. We are setting up on court as follows. The rotation for Kudos is a number one. We have Kudakwashe Mutasa wearing number 13. At number two, we have number 14. That is Mesa Arrow. And then at the center, at number three, is uh, Paul Amtenya. That's wearing number 8. Or number 4, jersey number 9 is Nangolo Yetuyene. Number 5 is Tobias. At position 5 is jersey number 7, Tobias. And then we have Maliki, jersey number 10. He's just been taken out by the libero, who is Namene, wearing jersey number 1. Whilst on correctional service, position 1 is jersey number 1, who is Simon. We are still to confirm the name of jersey number 5 and all the other players. A very good pass there by the libero. Daniel going for a quick side. Mutasa setting it outside. And that was a very good. That was a very good back set by Simon. Just throwing off the block in the center there, and number 5 killing it. So it's a 1-0 in this specific set, and it's the first score of the set. To serve is jersey number 5, and we're still waiting on the technical team to give us the full name list of correctional servers, or by there being certain numbers that are known. Jersey number 7 is obviously Daniel. So there was a flyer there by Nangolo, hitting the ball outside the line, or outside the court. What is very interesting here now is tactics, and what is at play. Libero Abiatar pushing the ball out there to Nangolo, and then we again have two unforced errors by Nangolo, taking the ball way outside the zones that he wants to place it. This is the first semi-finals for both teams in the DOC tournament, and also uh, a debut, a debut, a debut tournament for both teams. Albeit the players having played for different, albeit the players having played for different teams. That was a very good combination play by Mutasa and Aero Mesa there, jersey 14, putting a backcourt at position 2. Uh, these are very youthful players, trying just to suss them out, and they were part of the development structures of school sports development in the past 7 to 8 years, having made it to various national levels, and are now playing at the federation level, hoping also to get their place in the national team setup. Because the understanding is that there may be a national team selection or regional team selection this year. So some of these players are playing for that top honor to get there. So that was a very good hit by jersey number 20, who is Sida, placing it just on the top corner or the bottom corner of position 5. Catching Tobias, jersey number 7, off guard, who's covering that position. The coaches here are also trying to assess themselves out, given that they haven't played with each other or against each other for ever, and being that it's the first time that they're playing against each other, it also becomes a bit difficult as to where we will have them to play. So we have a very good block there by Sida Veli and Aikali, or Sida Aikali and Daniel. That is jersey 14 Aikali, 20 Sida, 7 Daniel, blocking Tobias from position 4. So the teams are really trying to suss themselves out as to say who's going to be making points. So far, Correctional Service is in the lead, having 6 points to 2. And we are waiting to see what will happen and what card does the coach for Kudos have on his sleeve. A very good roll there by Simon. Nangolo coming at the back. Kuda putting the ball at the back. That was a very, very, very good block. A good block in terms of Daniel and Haikali, stopping the attacking play there by Tobias and from position 5 of Kudos. Those were 2 consecutive dead blocks. The passes are coming in very well, and the setter is just losing momentum there of Kudos, and Correctional Service is really pulling away. They are now in the lead of 8-2. All right, so that was a tie break called by Kudos. So Kudos now has 1 tie break. Tie breaks in not a tie break, a timeout. Kudos now have 1 timeout. Each and every club is allowed 2 timeouts. Given that the sponsor has no broadcaster timeout, so this timeouts are only sanctioned as per set. So Kudos have now taken away or chipped away from their 2, and Correctional Service still has their 2 in place. That was a very good backcourt set by Kuda towards PK, who's wearing jersey number 8, leaving Aikali and Daniel in the dark as to what has happened. Yeah, we got the name list for correctional service, and that was a bad net touch by Daniel. So jersey number 20, as we said, is Sida Likando. Jersey number 6 is Mushoko Veri Tsenae. Jersey number 3 is Tilenge Fredentant. Jersey number 12 is Mene Petrus. Jersey number 7 is Aser Sindano Daniel. Jersey number 4 is Josiah Natango Eipinge. Jersey number 1 is Ekanjo Simon. And jersey number 11 is Chihito Venjiduva. Jersey number 15 is John 230. 18 Maswahu Boyson. 14 is Haikali Vilho. 5 is Nehemia Andreas. 19 is Freeze Denny. And jersey number 2 is Matengu Patrick. So we have jersey number 7, Asar Daniel serving. And on the front line, we have now Likando, jersey number 20, Haikali, number 14. And then we have number 1, Ekanjo Simon. So I'll be using mostly the last names for correctional service, just for convenience sake, because most of the times they are listed here with 2 names. So a serve there by Nangolo. A serve by Nangolo there, and quick pass out, and then a side set to position number 4 by Simon, and Likando just finished that deep in zone 1. So it's too technical in a way in terms of how correctional service is setting up, because they're playing more with their power attackers on the outside and really leaving the block to Haikali just to ensure and enforce his towering figure there. Tobias has gone for the save after Likando has put the ball in the net, and he just put the ball over. An easy save. Mesa sets it out to the. So the setter there selling the blocker shot. Maliki trying to pull the ball from the bag and putting it into the zone. And I think the setter here has sold the players very short. The difference is 6, with correctional service leading by 6 points. That is 12-6. We are yet to see the changes that may be made by coach Elena Veo, who's coaching Kudos Sports Club. And again, Mutasa have just touched the net, and we think he is a bit nervous. There's a touch of emotions, and being in the first semi-final also with a different club is not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing at all. So the liberos have just changed themselves and brought back the blocker for the reception. So there was an elimination of defense there. Mutasa setting it outside to Mesa. Covering the court was Aikali, putting it properly. Aikali did a very good one-hand roll defense on position 5 and 4 there. He was just positioned in the middle, but he got that very well. But unfortunately, a very number 6 touched the net. Maliki serving, float save to position 6. Oh, that was a very good set by Simon. High ball on the fingers by Mesa, and he's really pushing his team and pushing his setter to actually just focus and put the ball up and for them to fight. It is very, very, very awesome to see youthful players bashing each other out here, and I'm sure the spectators at home are enjoying this. We've got Ridoa Hanana Kamati just saying, "Let's go, Team Kudos," and we have Jango Vandundera watching from Angola. I mean, thank you for just popping in, and please give us your predictions. as to who's probably gonna take this, and the best way that we can, and the best way that we can, the best way that we can make this very lively. There was a touch out, and I presume it was a touch out by jersey number 5. And there is Nehemiah Andreas. Nehemiah Andreas touched the ball out there by that spike from position 4 by Mesa. So Kuda to serve. Serves it straight into position 2. Mesa Overi just get a very good shot there by Simon. A quick play in the center, and the blockers seem not to have seen what have happened there. Score here is now in favor of Correctional Service, who's now leading by 16 points to 9. Nehemiah serves. Mutasa comes in for him. That was a very good combination play. I mean, Mesa was coming from position 2 and hitting the ball right behind the blocker who was coming from position 4. In between that zone, and he puts the ball back to position 5. The libero was so deep in the zone 3 that he could not retrieve that. Mesa goes back to serve. Simon on the outside position 4 to Daniel. That was a good roll, good cover by Mesa. Nangolo from position 2. And Licando just flexing his muscle there from position 4, and goes deep cross in position 4 on the opposite court. We've got very for serve, but they still a confirmation. And the second ref, who's Mr. Mpadi, has just confirmed that is very jersey number 6 to serve. So Very takes the position 5 on the court for service, trying to look for the libero, zone into a good follow-up. Libero brings the ball back up. Licando gets the ball over the hands of Nangolo and forces Nangolo into a net touch. The score now stands at 18-10, and the boys seem not to be intimidated at all by Kudos Sports Club. So Correctional Service has come up here to put in a fight, and by the look of things, unless Kudos goes with a different strategy, Correctional Service is running away with it. A very good serve there by Paulus Amtenya, and just had Nehemiah a bit off, so that gives them a 12-18 score. So that is now 6 points difference. And as I said, we are watching from the dome. Wendy PK Gases has also tuned in on the live stream and put up some few comments, and she is watching from, she has not indicated where she's watching from, so please kindly inform us where you are watching from and who you are rooting for. That was an outside serve. It was an outside serve there by it's a substitution. Jersey number 12 is coming in for jersey number 9. So jersey number 12 also used to play in the north for 6 stars. So he will know Correctional Service players very well because some of them used to play together. Libero just let that to go outside. Daniel Asser served outside. He was looking for the libero, trying to eliminate him in terms of the pass. A very long ball to the edges. Those are very difficult to bring back, especially when you are offhand. Nehemiah passes down to the center. Maliki with a towering block there in the middle. So a good dump there by Mesa. Licando has just come in for a middle ball So he remained rooted to the spot in the center there, number 3. And Mesa, with a backcourt set, he comes in for a pipe and just pushes it into zone 4. So again, a very easy roll there by Daniel, but Maliki's towering figure was up in the air, just putting it down at his foot. These boys are assessing each other out. They are actually taunting themselves in terms of chest beats, you know. Um, that was a good attack by Tobias. Maliki coming back in there, just taking charge of the court, and the score set is now 17-19. So we have the coach for Correctional Service calling for a timeout, and the coach is Hamukwaya Festus. He is assisted by Rebi Nengwanya. So Rebi Nengwanya also used to play for Happy Do, and we understand he's carrying an injury, hence he could not be playing in this tournament. But we presume he'll be playing for Correctional Service since he's now based in the north. Coach Alina made a technical substitution there, bringing in Jerobium Indongo, who's jersey number 12, to replace Nangolo. Jerobium Indongo is a neutral blocker, but could also alternate or vary his play from position 4, which is position 2, which is the opposite, and I think he was brought in specifically to actually stop the play of Acer and Likando, because Nangolo was a bit lacking in that aspect. And also the servers. His servers has made such a great difference. And his servers has made such a great difference. Simon just goes and hit the ball in the net. And I think that was a hit of frustration, because he's quite a very good player. And he has a very good wrist control that is feared by many of his peers in the volleyball leagues where he has played. He used to play for Nam Power before, and we understand they were the vanguard of the Kudos volleyball team last year, but could not play due to him having undergone correctional service training in Omaruru, as well as then having to transfer back to correctional service, given that he's working for them now. The scoreline is now even at 19, given the considerable lead that was there. But these players are really fighting. We see Namene putting his body on the line, allowing him to be smashed with a Mikasa, but keeping it flying. And that is one of the mottos of the Volleyball Federation: keep the ball flying. And we should really say Maliki and the Veri and the Seta de Mutasa have started making a difference. And also, it should be said, the libero has really put his body and life on the line here, because these balls are not easy when they smash you. Some people can easily just blank out, but given the adrenaline that is now flowing in these boys, they seem not to be really caring about that much now. And I'm sure their fans and their spectators on the live streams are really enjoying the show that has been put up now. We have Tobias just being delayed there in that position, and the change that was made by Correctional Service, they just brought in a setter, that is Imene Petrus. Imene Petrus has replaced the Daniel who was the utility, and what they have done is changed Simon to be the utility player, and he's really exploiting the gaps in the Kudos block. That's a very good dink, and Toby jersey number 7 hitting the net there, and when the other player brought it up, that was a forward touch. So the score is now 22-21. That is in favor of Correction. It's about a few things that just needs to be made and changes that needs to be made. So that is 23-21, and there are only few tactical changes that can be made by a coach. The rest is that the players have to really carry themselves through, because I'm sure all the basic work and you know technical work are being done at the training facilities. It's not easy, given that the confidence that these young boys are carrying is at another level. The adrenaline is at another level. They are painting themselves up for those wins. And as I said, it's going to be one of the debutants versus the experienced teams in this. So we're going to either see two Central Volleyball Association teams contesting the final, or it's going to be the Far Northern Volleyball Association and a Central Volleyball Association team contesting the final. And also, just to go back a bit in the administration of these associations, these are the two active associations in the Namibia Volleyball Federation setup, who has a consistent running league and have consistent competition that are ongoing. On the weekend of the 21st, the Far Northern Volleyball Association had had what we call the Independence Cup, and it's with that Independence Cup that these teams in the Far Northern Volleyball Association ready themselves up in a way for this tournament. It could have been good planning, or I should give it to them that it was good planning, because it allowed for them to have a game temperament, a competition temperament, which is indicative of their, their calmness, the astuteness, especially towards how they are attacking and the approach to the game. So Nehemia goes for a serve outside there and takes the set for Correctional service. It ended 25-23. So we are going to see how the coaches are going to put up their second lineup for this stanza. Viewers, you are please allowed to just comment again. Wendy Gazes has just indicated that she's rooting for Kudos, and she did not indicate where she is watching from.
Charge. Foul. Foul. I think five. Aggressive now. Power. Power. Terza completa.
Oh, we are back again. We're back again with the second set. In the second set, we have
Yeah, sharp.
the rotations slightly changed. Ken Kudos has just taken off Tobias and placed the number 2 into his position, that is Tangeni. And Nangolo started off the bench, and we have Jerobium into his position. Simon is still serving, or is still on pickup. For position, he's playing position 1, and he's also the setter. And they brought in back Dania, who was replaced by jersey number 12, Imene. So Matasa remains as the setter for the match, and he goes for a long set to the libero. Nehemia is just showing Maliki and Mesa flames, because Maliki was rooted in the center there waiting for Daniel and Likando, whereas Tobias or Mesa went on a one-on-one, and Nehemia just goes on his side. As we said, these are debutant teams. Either one of them will be making history, their club history, by being the first players to make it to a final with a team just in 2 years of introduction, having been inserted or formed last year. There was some good tactical plays there. Errors and mistakes that were being done, but the referees seem not to be faced by the green eyes of the players, just ensuring their professionalism. And as we said, you know, a game of volleyball is so fast and quick, And when you got young and vibrant players as this one's on court now, a ref is bound to miss one. He's bound to miss one or two, two frames in the play. And in as much as it's not supposed to happen, he's also just human. You get a look at this once, and in the blink of an eye, it is gone. And these balls are moving at massive speeds. I'm sure if we have to give any of the players to ref the game, they will find themselves also with the same problem. Tangeni is making a difference there from position 4, really proving his number, and he's one of the boys that have grown through the school structure, the school ranks, having played for Ponofi Secondary School, and then making it into the national under 20s in 2018. After high school, he started playing for Nampower, and it's in that year that he also made his maiden experience in some of these tournaments. So he's really now out there to show that his improvement. We have Mesa that is probably stretched a muscle also, and then we have Nangolo coming in at his position at attacker. So he's the power. So jersey number 7 is going for medical treatment on the sideline, and then we have jersey number 9 coming in for that. So Jerobium has also now getting in the groove of the game as the opposite player there, just using the hands, fingertips of the blocking side there, which is Simon and Haikali. And he's got such massive power in his drive that the ball really goes to the edges. That was a good block there. Tangeni tried to turn out of the... Actually turned from the position where he's supposed to attack of a cross court and turn into the block of Simon. At times, these things happen, People are driven by the adrenaline, fueled by the excitement of the game, and they tend to do little mistakes that could, in the long run, cost them. So the linesman has indicated that the ball is out, the ball is in, whereas the referee has seen something different. Now that you have to have trust in your side officials, so he went with what his linesman saw, because she is the one that is facing the line and could see if the whole circumference of the ball is really out or has touched part of the line. And if a ball has touched part of the line, it's considered to be in the game of volleyball. So that score or that point going to correctional service. So far it is 6-5 in favor of Kudos. But then we have players trying to suss themselves out and putting power on the ball. You can go up with your towering block. These guys are putting power into it. So if you don't put it down, it's either going to come back to you hard or it's going to go out. So they don't give room for following and follow up. So that was a very tight set. That was a tight set there by Mutasa. And it appears that he's also a bit off. I think the nerves are also catching up with him, and given that you want to get it right and give your team the best possible performance you could, you're susceptible to mistakes, and those niggling mistakes, if they accumulate, they allow the opponent to catch up. well, one thing with these teams is that they know each other very well. On friendly relations, there are people that laugh together, that they're in the same circle, that know each other very well. They have been friends at several occasions. Some have attended each other's graduations, have been in the same classes at school and university. You know, some have been friends ever since um, their youth. So you can understand the 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 sports animosity, you know, because I'm sure of the taunting and the and the talks amongst each other whilst they were off court is the one now that is kind of also having others performing to the best of their ability and others being a bit nervous. But again, experience comes to play of the coaches, experience of the players that have played for long, as well as just the temperament of how the coach wants the game to pan out. And given how the teams are setting up now, it's they are going for pound for pound. If it was a boxing match, you will see it's one southpaw against uh, a northpaw faced player. So we have a tight set there by Mutasa and Mesa, not really seeing the open space in position 4 and just going for power. So he allows with that reckless hit for the correctional service team to almost catch up. So he went and rectifies and remedies his previous mistake with a very good variated hand swing to position 1, which caught Simon off guard because he was running into that position to defend the zone area that we have been seeing in the previous match, which has not been covered. That is position 3 and 6. That in zone there is always left open. And I think that is what Mesa has been trying to exploit, the movement of Simon from position 1 into that position. And you know, it's not easy. You could really understand how hungry these boys are for this specific match, because I'm sure some will not be allowing for the others to breathe after the game to say we had one on you or one up against you or we got it against you. So in a way, it also builds um, a sportsman tension for the next matches, and allows for the other players to technically also go and improve themselves in the mistakes that they had. Likanto good on his knees there with a pass. Daniel Daniel goes high with power on Jerobium and Maliki. All quite fairly tall guys with very good reach, and they just went up a bit late. Um, you know, missing out on Daniel's swing, and Daniel just using their hands to put the ball on the back. So that was a very good good hit by Mesa, albeit the pass by Mutaza, which was a bit off. So because he had to hit the ball from the back, meaning his arm was not fully extended, but it was side extended. A good save into Nehemia there. So Daniel rolls it. A good pass by Tangeni. Mutasa puts it up high. Daniel is pushing out on the outskirts. Daniel has really pushed out far on the edge of position 2 to come and attack that ball. So Tangeni put up a towering figure, but then he ended up touching the net. So it's an interesting set. It's a do or die for Kudos, so they need to really fight for it. Very gives a serves. Tangeni passes. Maliki goes with a rub and he's hitting the ball from his side. So Tangeni again defends. Maliki goes and defends. Tangeni brings the ball back up. Maliki puts the ball back in the center. Very receives. Simon back to Daniel. So a very good skillful thinking by Daniel. Just dropping the ball behind the block whilst the libero was defending on the far edge of the 3-meter line. So it makes it a bit difficult to run back in, especially when you have taken a defensive posture the agility of these players also is something that needs an improvement, but they're trying. They are really trying. So at this level, you need to have your game up. We see that it's 12-11 in favor of correctional service. Very saves again there for the third time. Good touch out there by Daniel. Goes for power. Setter sits out. Tangeni goes for the second time. Goes with power again, and Haikali was there. Likando with a save. That was a very good block by Maliki. Daniel tried to variate, put it on the side of Maliki, but his big hands were all over the place. So you could really tell these boys are hungry. And Daniel is one of those all-round players, playing from the block to the outside, opposite, and he can really cause damage. So they are trying by all means to have that eliminated. Tangeni goes with a very good dink there by Maliki. A good block by PK and Jerobium, and he follows it up and makes a point. A very simple point. Basic placement into zone 5 and 4 there. I mean, you could see Simon and Aikali reaching to get him if he goes for power, but he sees their hands and just plays it off their hands. A smart play there by the young man. So we have Maliki serving, waiting on the ref's whistle. And remember, he's got 8 seconds after the whistle. So he serves it straight to Nehemia. Simon sets it out to Likando, and Likando goes for power for the deep zone 5, and it ends up going outside. So it's a tense game. It is quite a tense game, and we have the second referee running to the warm-up zone of Kudos Sports Club, and just explaining to the players in the warm-up zone not to move into the playing area, which is also quite unsafe, because any player that may be running back for the ball that is touched or deflected on that playing area close to the warm-up zone can cause injuries. So it's again an easy one. Jerobian goes and plays the ball. He goes with power. And the irony is that he took out one of his mentors, albeit them being almost the same age, but they look up to each other. That is Nangolo. And Nangolo was on song yesterday in the group stages. And today his nerves got the better of them, because he's a very good player, a very grounded player, focused and always delivering as to what the coach is saying. His expectations. A good pass there by the libero, actually. That's a good touch. Set outside. Tangeni. Very skillful by Tangeni. These boys are starting to enjoy themselves. And really, Daniel is looking a bit dejected, because these boys are doing what he doesn't expect them to do. Just dinking the ball into his hands, deceiving him into a hit, and then he goes for a big reach, and they just place it in his hands, and he comes down with it. So as I was saying, the expectations of Jerobium was to be, just one that is learning from the team, but he's making his way slowly but surely into this starting 6 of Kudos. They have such a big team, and the coach is spoiled for choice. And I'm seeing again the technical call that is being made by the coach of Correctional Service, trying to bring in Amene again, or trying to bring in Imene to set, and Simon obviously to go for utility, and Simon to go in for utility. So he's just trying to cover that gap of that 2-point lead that Kudos is having. There is something with the referee here. He's indicating to the linesman on position 1 of where Correctional Service is. I think in one of the floor mats, have just popped out. Try to rectify that because it could easily injure a player if he gets stuck into that, and we do not want to have such unfortunate scenes at this beautiful uh, court. Mutasa goes for 4. Tangeni drives it to position 5. The libero was there. Nice one there by Namene, defending a good touch. Again, Mesa tries to use the hands. We have the setter now doing the defense, and Jerobium just losing touch of that ball. So that ball was on its way out, and Mesa just touches it outside. So the score is now 15-16. Daniel has really made an improvement on that edge, and he's trying to close the gap. Closing the gap by serving technically and not allowing the setter for Kudos to get balls in the end zone. So good pass there by Namene. A very good set to Tangeni. He goes and swings over the shoulder, cuts the ball into the deep zone 5 there. So this is what they call a cross-cut ball. It's a substitution. Daniel is being taken out, bringing in a setter. Simon is going to now shift to be the opposite player, and he's a very dangerous player, especially with his wrist control. His wrist is one killer of a wrist. Yeah. His wrist is one killer of a wrist. I'm telling you, because most of the blockers will be going at the most probable direction that he's going to put the ball, but he will variate and do something unorthodox, and it has power. The power in this young man's hand is just immense. There he goes and passes between Mutasa and Paul, and makes a point for his team as an opposite player. So the score is now at 16-18. We have Boiki Gagona Ku Zola Ndetipo watching from Valvers Bay. We have Abigail Maria Guess. Shout out to Event Solutions Namibia. You're doing great, and surely we should say they are doing great because they have been streaming the semifinals for the women, or they stream one of the semifinals for the women, and decided to just really chip in and bring the game of volleyball to the many spectators who could not be in this magnificent sports arena, which is the Dome. And we also give a shout out to Rido. She still says, "Go, let's go, team." And I think she is going for Kudos Sports Club. And we have again another comment by Bex. He was just asking what the score is, and he's saying, "Yo, Jesse number 5 of NCS though is tough." So yeah, that is Nehemiah. He's really proved himself as to who he is, and he has really put up a good fight. So we are seeing the score difference being 3 now. Kudos having 20, and Correctional Service having 17. It's not over until the fat lady sings in a pool game, that's what they say. But in volleyball, it's not over until the Mikasa has landed. And as I was talking about Simon, he just showed the few audience that are here, mostly the officials from both teams and the technical staff from the Volleyball Federation, what I was talking about. He goes and throws the block off with his hand, blocking into an empty space and just pushing it in deep. Mesa goes and does the same, and placing it between Simon and the libero. So it's equally even. It's equally even. And just to also remind you that simultaneously the game of Happy Do and DTS semi-final is also on. And after this one we are going to have the men's third and fourth, and thereafter the female final and the male's final. It's not going to be easy, not at all, because a lot is at stake for some of these clubs. You know, considering the travel costs, considering the accommodation, the feeding of these players, I am telling you, you would at least want to walk away with something. And for those that have made it into the top four, the top three are at least guaranteed something, although it won't compensate. Although it won't compensate for the investments that they have put into this tournament in terms of preparation, administration, you know, and operations and logistics. It's not easy, but they are really trying. There is a lot of unforced errors. There's a lot of unforced errors from KNVC. We just saw Mutasa saving in the net. They managed to get the ball back with a very good hit there, controlled hit by Jerobium. But then Messas just goes and saves the ball outside, way off. And those are errors that a team coach would not want to see from his players, because you want to make good. You want to make good with the points. It's now 20. It's 21-22. The predictions here is that who do you think will win this one? And 57% has gone on to say that Correctional Service will take it. 47% have gone on to say that 43% have gone on to say that Kudos. So we are going to see and wait what will happen and who will take it. It's now even at 22 sides, and the coach Lina has just called for a timeout. I think that is her last timeout also, given that we said that each and every team is only allowed to have 2 timeouts. In exception that there is a sponsor that would want to have a broadcast of that showing, the sponsor will then also have his time with a technical timeout to allow for the sponsor's advertisement to go about and fly. So we said the score prediction there is remaining to be 57% in favor of Correctional Services and 43% in favor of Kudos. Kudos have just allowed Correction to take the lead by 1 point, and again it's very with his serve. He's really been troubling Kudos Volleyball Club. He's troubled them so much in terms of the serve. He's troubled them in. Maliki goes and take the ball over, and he's really gone for 3 power hits. One thing that the setter is struggling, he is forcing the ball on position 4, and the tall blockers for Correctional Service are sitting on that side. Tangeni is finding it a bit difficult, although he's connecting with the ball. He's finding it a bit difficult to penetrate and go through, forcing him into errors. So we're waiting for the save. It's a very good save. Basic serve into position. Likando goes and saves the ball outside, and it's now a set point. Set point in favor of Kudos. So it's 24-23. 24-23. On receiving is Likando, Nehemia, and Daniel. So he goes to Nehemia, brings it, and it's a set. Daniel goes and kills it and touches the net. I'm telling you, those boys are showing maturity. Both teams, and if I say these boys are showing maturity, I'm talking about both teams. They are really showing their skill, and in that it shows the temperament that, as I have indicated, These are people that know each other. These are people that have sat together. These are people that have gone to school together, sit in the same university lectures together. These are people that have attended different occasions of each other's families as friends on several occasions. And it's a group that you cannot actually break, irrespective of them playing for two different teams. They still remain one. They are in unison. They share ideas. Apart from the little, you know, talks that players will put up, it's talks of motivation to say, okay, I'm going to show you when we come. So we have the two captains going for the toss on the far right scoreboard there with referee Kashiakuma. And Simon is the captain for Correctional Service, and Mesa is the captain for Kudos Sports Club. So this set, as in the previous match, will only end at 15. So whoever reaches 15 first after 15 points with a point difference of two scores, they win the set. It can go up till 25 if it's pound for pound, or it can be finished in that 15 set margin that is required. And we really seeing Coach Elena, and the boys just encouraging themselves to fight. And we're also seeing Coach Ankwaya joining his boys into unison and singing as they want to take this one and at least take this trophy to the north. It has never been won by a club in the far northern region. All teams that have won this cup have been from Windhoek. So we had Rundu VC trying to have made a difference last year and losing out by a small margin to NDF last year. And now this year we have the debutants contesting it out in the first semi-final, while the other semi-final is still ongoing. So we understand that DTS took a set in the other semi-final against Happy Do, and they are playing their second set. So we are still awaiting the results to see what it is. The war cries on this court, and I have to say, court is massive because you could hear where I'm sitting in the commentary box. I could still hear DTS. I could still hear Happy Do, and the noise here where I am sitting is just massive. You would imagine this hall is jam-packed, but there's only a few technical staff members. The noise actually is coming from the players. When they smash the ball so hard, they go about in euphoria. It's like one would want to say these players have sound boxes in them, but that's the spirit of the game. You would want to celebrate every ball that you hit. You would want to just cut out the team spirit of the other team just by being loud or louder than them. And set is taking a bit long to commence. We see the linesmen and the referees taking up their position. That means we are about to start, and the second referee have just blown for the teams to get back on court. There is a side discussion there with the setter by Coach Alina, and especially in this set he was off. It's fortunate that he did not lose this, because I'm sure he would have been very, very emotional and blaming himself of the little few errors that he made. But those are the gives and takes of the game of volleyball. You give some to your opponents, they give you some, and then there are those that you're outrightly making. So it's a give and take. Again, we are live at the Dome. If you cannot make it to the Dome, please just live stream on Event Solutions Facebook. Go on Event Solutions Facebook page, and that is where you will find the match. Okay, my name is Washitile Kotokeni Nekoto, and I am your commentator for this specific match. So we hope to also have somebody that will be replacing me in the meanwhile, because I will have to sit somewhere else and take control of other matters that requires our urgent attention. that may require our urgent attention after this match. But hopefully, we will be back for your final men's final, depending on who is going to go through. It's the last set. Um, Correctional Service has just taken a point, and it's 1-0. It was a outside hit by Mesa, and it just rolled out of play. And a good pass there by Namene. Good drive, good touch. Back to Imene. A roll there. A roll there by Simon. And that was a mistake. A mistake by Maliki. Pushing the ball back without killing it. And he just had he had his he had he had his libero exposed. So again, Nehemia is back there. We have brand influencer watching from Swakop. Ooh, that was Maliki. He's just replied what Simon did, and he went and taught him on the net, just showing him who's the beast amongst the beast. But we still have to see, because the beast will have to be determined by the winning team. But that was a very good set by the setter, and Maliki just had to make amends with that mistake that he did. So the score now is 3-1, and we are yet to see what the two coaches have in mind. Maliki gives it again, and he sets him up himself. He sets himself up for an attack, and he gives Correctional Service the opportunity to make more points from the free balls that he's giving back to Correctional. Very again to serve. He seemed to be a very problematic server for Kudos, and we do not see what Maliki and the setter has been doing. So it is becoming a bit dangerous now for Kudos, because the score point is now 5-1. It's not the end of the game. Technical errors are there to be made, especially when the game is very technical, and emotions can also lead to mistakes. And if you are overwhelmed as to what you should do when you get the opportunity to do something, you also get to make mistakes. So this is why they say it's a discipline code that requires a mental strength of players to be in check. Because if your psyche is off, you will end up making mistakes that are not warranted and cause your team a heavy loss. All right. We have the second ref explaining to Mr. Festus Anquaya as to his position and where he should be based. Otherwise, if he does not adhere to the regulations, we just saw him getting a yellow card, or one of his players getting a yellow card, and that in itself is being recorded as a transgression against Correctional Service. That's a very good, simple, in-zone play by the young man Jerobium. He's really proved his worth for this team, and he's becoming, that point maker. Simple or hard as it is supposed to be, he is just making it easy for himself. He's not allowing the pressure of the team to get to him. So Simon goes for an outside ball there, and they bring back Daniel. bringing in back Daniel. That means Simon goes again for an attack because he does not want to go for the 3 meters as it appears. And Daniel will be now attacking the front zone from position 2. So it makes it more difficult again for Amtenya, PK, and Tangeni, as they have now to deal with Likando, Aikali, and Daniel. That was an outside ball, too high. Seta has just missed these blockers. It seems Kudos is now mistake prone. It's 7-2, and they are giving up on themselves. So Nangolo comes in to take Jerobium. So coach wants a point maker. Jerobium will also making that point. And that was a mistake. A bad mistake by the players. They just floated into the antenna, leaving Likando alone out there on the outside and making a clean point. Now, what I tell you, the lead is very huge. 6 points as a difference. I mean, Kudos have to really work hard, dig into their heels, make sure that this court is very tight and the net is sealed if they have to even the score first, because that's what they have to work for first. After evening the score, they will have to work again extra hard to maintain the evenness or even go and win it. For the coach of Correctional Service and his players, they just need to manage the game. Make sure that you go back to the basic rules of playing the game, placing the game weight, the ball weight supposed to be, and ensuring player discipline at the net on the court. Because you know you are expecting barrages of all kinds from Kudos Sports Club. And as we're just indicating that, we saw Kudos middle attacker Antenya just chipping away that lead, making it now a 5-point lead for Correctional Service. Nangolo coming in with a serve, still not technical. And then there was a very good block by Amtenya. Goes out to Likando still. Likando dumps the ball back. A very good touch. And then it's out. It's out of play. The boys are nervous. So it's a 6-point lead again. And what we are hearing is that Correctional Service only needs 6 points. 6 points and then they have this. Whilst for Kudos, they need a good 13 points. Or a good 12 points. A good 12 points to take the lead. So it's Likando on serve. The attackers on the front is Nehemia. And then is Nehemia, Aikali, and Daniel. So we have on the opposite side Mutasa, Amtenya, and Mesa. So Mesa is going to be facing Daniel, who will be attacking from position 2 together with PK. So Nehemia is going to be attacking from position 4. So he's got Mutasa and PK to deal with. So there was a rotation fault there. And the score is now being chipped into. It's now a 4-point lead for Correctional Service. That means it's 5-9. It's 5-9. That's, you could really see the libero of Correctional Service struggling. That was a very good play, disciplined play. Paulus Antenya just stopped. He did not want to do anything. He followed what his utility was saying, but there was a cause of concern because they could have injured themselves. running into each other. If you smash into one another, it can get bloody, because with that momentum that the players are having running about the court and all that, it leads to very, very funny injury. So that was a very good touch there. Mistake on the side. All right, to the side out. Mesa goes, makes a point. He technically just starts using the hands of the players, and Coach Amkwaya, has now called for a timeout. To go back on the commentary, we got French Mamish Darius, who's saying "Come on, Kudos," and then we have Bexam Kete, who's saying "Come on, Correctional." Aktofel Tangeni is saying "Correctional to the final already," and we have Benny Ink Idenga indicating that Correctional Service is leading 8-2. John Panduleni Nugulu is also rooting for Correctional Service, and Boiki Gagonaku Zola and Tipo has just asked as to who's leading, and I think that's where he was being responded to by John Panduleni to say that it's Correctional Service. I mean, we have to say thank you to the viewers that are streaming live. Your commentary has really, or your posts are making this commentary also a bit livelier. Albeit that I have to say that I'm also trying my best, given the assistance of the technical team. The analysts that I had are both engaged in the game, and the federation has not given me an analyst that could give me, give me views and points of what I would have wanted to discuss with them in terms of the men's game, and specifically this match, because there is a lot of analysis to be given on this, especially the blocking system, the attack, the formation, the standing formation in terms of receiving. So the second ref and the lines lady are indicating that the ball is in, and the referee has taken a stance to say that the ball is out. So they've both approached the bench, not in terms of a court proceeding though, but we would have to say it is a proceeding, because these guys are standing in front of the judge, who becomes the jury and the executor at the same time. So the point of both these teams is in the hands of the first referee. So as we said, those are the things. It's a give and take. And we've seen in the previous set the referee giving the line ball, trusting the line judge, but in this instance, he goes for a common, which is a good thing to do, especially when there has been a contradiction between himself and his assistants, because we had the second ref going with what the line judge has indicated when he has prompted him with an eye look. But that was a very good hit by Daniel on top of Mesaf's head. Now he goes and replies with a very soft touch to Simon. Simon goes a good pass out to. He goes with a good pass out to the outside. We have Simon going to the referee. As we said, the first ref is a judge, he is a jury, and he's the executioner. The decisions solely lies with him. He's ably assisted by the second referee, line judges, and the scorer. So the scorers are there for the rotation and the points, and the line judges are there to see where the ball lands on the court, especially for those crucial line touches. So that's a serve by Daniel, and Maliki goes and rubs the ball off into Daniel's zone 6 position there, and he gets a retaliatory hit by Simon. So Mutasa has Mesa on his outside and Maliki in his in zone. So that makes the set now 10-12. A 2-point lead now for Correctional Service. And if you have to imagine where Kudos were at the changeover, it was a good 6-point lead. A good 6-point lead. So you could really tell how hungry these boys are and how technically they are trying to get themselves into the game. So it's a 1-point lead. For the first time in this game, Simon was blocked and the ball did not come back up because the power that he had put into this ball was very massive. We have Mutasa serving again on Likando. And a pass by Tangeni that just went over the net. So him being the front player, Mutasa being a back player, he could not block. So Very just plays the ball at his foot and the others could not reach in for the cover. So he got Nehemiah serving again. And Libero goes. And that was a very, very good block by Very. So it is now 1 point to go for Correctional Service and 4 points to go for Kudos. So the setter for Kudos has totally eliminated his attacker, playing the ball through the middle, and there wasn't much fruit there, although it's a good option. He didn't make much points. So Nangolo goes simple, goes and puts the ball. Now what they need is a serve that can bring them close. 2 points to even it out. And with that serve, they need to also have the net blocked, because you have Simon on the front. You have Nangolo. And that was a very good one. Oh. This Larry is going on. And yes, it's a dead ball. The contention is of the ball touching the antenna. The referees are indicating that they have not seen that, albeit there being an antenna touch. And I presume it's from the block, which is a Kudos block. It would have been a Correctional Service point. However, as we said, mistakes are mistakes. And that's a good save. And it brings the game to a tie. Nangolo have just found himself, and he's got one up against Likando. And I can tell you, the level of excitement and anxiety in this court is massive. The captains are being called to order, or the one captain is being called to order, just to inform his warm-up zone players to number 11 just got a yellow card, and that is a second transgression in this game. So the good thing is this is a warning and you don't get penalized for it. You do not lose a point. However, the second transgression of that, I think, leads to the team losing a point. And if they do so due to the character and the ill-disciplined nature of those in the warm-up zone, will be very unfortunate. Both sets of players have now started encouraging those in the warm-up zone have started encouraging their players by song. And Mesa goes for an easy float save. Libero is caught off guard. Maliki dumps the ball in the middle, and that is just something that is having Correctional service off their game a bit. We are looking up in the air, and Simon just wanting to get that one ball back to even the score. Mesa patiently waiting to save the ball over because that's all they need. Good ball out. Likando goes, fish the ball outside. Mesa saves. Nangolo goes and places it in the libero. A very good one there. And Nangolo kills it. Nangolo kills the ball. And Kudos have made it to the finals. And we should say it was a very good fight. Simon does not understand it. Correctional Service has given their all. Very is looking up to the Almighty to say what had just happened. Because that, I could understand the dejection of Correctional Service. They had a very good lead, a 6-point lead. But their temperament of this game have just gone down. They failed to manage the game. The coach could not calm his players down. The errors that they were making were so simple and allowed for Kudos to raise the roof. But I should tell you, Correctional Service is a very good team. A very, very good team that needs the development officers in the Volleyball Federation and their association to actually just give them with good coaching skills, and they will be a formidable side. Formidable in a sense that they can take on any team and make it big. Don't take that away from Kudos. Do not take it away from Kudos. The experience that is being carried by jersey number 8, jersey number 13, which is Tobias. The sacrifice that this young man Namene has put up, laying his body on the floor for his team, is just so massive. Tangeni, we saw Tangeni coming in there, making a difference, taking on Sida, taking on Likando, taking on Haikali, and just winning this one. I'm sure the coach, she's highly excited. The coach is probably perspiring now because I'm telling you the amount of anxiety that these boys have placed on her could lead up to a very good warm-up sweat. And she's also now just readying herself up to go and take up a final spot where she will be playing for Kudos females team in the final Visas Revivals. So we've got two Kudos teams in the finals in their debut, Dog Tournament debut, and they have taken this. The dejection on Nehemiah's face. We could see him laying there on the floor. The dejection on Sida, on Simon, on Daniel. You know, Imene came in and just tried to make it good. I could understand. One would shed a tear for not going through to the final. And these are boys that know each other. They know each other very well. And we have to give it up to the coaches for bringing up good teams that have made it so far, playing a disciplined game of volleyball, being respectful and humble to one another, teams that understands what it is to be a sportsman. You know, it's not easy. It's not really easy. We remember the years when other players will be, just literally letting tears flow out of excitement, and that is what is required. Teams that could support one another. And if you could look on the court now and on the streams, players are going over to each other to support each other, give each other handshakes, because they know each other. And that is what we call sportsmanship, camaraderie, team spirit. I tell you, it was a game out of this world. It's a final within a final. and I just hope it doesn't take away from Kudos Sports Club, so that they can be fresh and rejuvenated for the second one. So we are done, right? Oh, can I? Will this fit? So we understand the final is going to be, yeah, just put up, the final is going to be against DTS. So it's Central Volleyball Association teams that are going to contest the final. DTS Volleyball Club, a Deutsche Turnverein is what they are called, and Kudos Sports Club are the ones that are going to contest the men's final. The third and fourth final, the third and fourth semi-final, or third and fourth final is going to be contested between um, there is a correctional service and Happy Do. We are going to do an interview with the coaches, and there I'm going to have Coach Amkwaya first, and then thereafter probably Coach Alina. We are coming live from the dome, and we are with Coach Festus Amkwaya, the coach. We are coming live from the dome with Coach Festus Amkwaya, the coach for correctional service. Coach, your views of the game.
My views on the game, I'm very proud of my boys. We worked hard from January together as we were getting ready for the league and other tournaments. However, we played the DOC tournament for the first time with the Namibian Correctional Service Volleyball Club.
And and how do you feel? How the performance? Who do you single out? Who was it? A team effort? Who do you single out specifically in this semi-final? Because I know they were all good, they were all rounded. But who made the difference, especially for the first set and then the second set when you were leading?
All my boys, they did their level best. However, I have to single out Simon Ekanjo. He was playing both setting, and when we see we don't have much defense, for us to capitalize, we have to play utility as well. So I can say he went an extra mile to make sure that the team were able to capitalize. So I can single him out to say he did a very good job, both setting and when we see we're under pressure, he can still move to another position. However, all of them, they did a very good job.
Speaking of Simon Ekanjo, that is jersey number 1. We also had jersey number 20, that is Likando. And I understand these players were part of Kudos at one point of time. How did it make them feel coming up with their friends, especially at this tournament? Because they are all making a debut tournament, both clubs, and then having players on opposite sides that understand each other. How did it make them feel, or how did it make you feel?
It made me feel like we need to work hard because Kudos is still having more than 7 players that played with Simon and Likando. Me, I only have 2. So the pressure could say, me, I have 30, me, I have 70, them, they have 30. However, they said, no, we're going to do our level best because there's nothing that's not possible. That's what they told me. However, we felt the pressure, but we said, we will do our level best. And this is what we did. That's why we took a first set from them.
Coach, thank you for your views, and hope that your boys will keep improving and taking the Far Northern Volleyball League, knowing that it's also one of the exciting leagues in under the Namibian Volleyball Federation. We encourage and implore you not to give up on them, and go out there and develop and come back next year as a strong team.
Thank you. Thank you so much. See you next year.
Pleasure, man. Who's next? Sharp. Okay.
patana. Robi se kadona cheta, oto lengwa no te pino patana. Date puti konchi fino wali, nado muti libe hasodali. Apa wakwata patelele, ino befa be kukelele. Tereu, 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 tati kwa tereu. Tereu, 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 tati kwa tereu. Tata puti toturu. Itoturu. Tata puti toturu. Omande kuko silo kume. Agatemo blilo kume. Kuko kwata shilongo kume. Santoka ya nagolo kume. Totu fulu date ku. Ostare jomo honde kapelo chuchu. I am a heavyweight. On him chu. Give up more lightweight. Move up. Oboru menye. Move up. Namukara mwa kontana. Tata puti toturu. No worry. Tata puti no worry. Itoturu. No worry. No worry. Tata puti no worry. Tata puti toturu. No worry. No worry. No worry. Tata puti toturu. No worry. No worry. Tata puti no worry. No worry. Itoturu. Kuru wana ro patire. Kokuri akusikangura. Karandu yemwe nonkwambi. Wachipara chana kwethi. Onda valerwa monkunda. Ya kuiwa no derera. No gateta. No gateta bonufu. No gateta. No gateta kwa kteri. Buke pui hayasho. La kento la kali. Chibwibwili chibwibwili. So topindo taman. Bongita totul. Amos kopindo shaman. Godi sero tainika. Makas perita agapi. Otare na marume. Tata puti totul. Tata puti totul. Itoturu. No worry. No worry. Tata puti totul. No worry. No worry. No worry. Tata puti totul. No worry. No worry. Tata puti no worry. No worry. Itoturu. Kuru wana ro patire. Kokuri akusikangura. Onda kakana kala. Hakala neka wila. Aniti wali. Anike samani. Okupatiwa. Wapaliku. Aniti wali. Anike samani. Okupatiwa. Wapaliku.
Mr. Kudos SC.
My moves are catching, and you never have to worry about the call line. You're dealing with daddy, get comfortable, baby, you hold my. There won't be side chick. I'm the one with the hangover. You're the one that should come over. Baby, would you roll over? Want you close, want you all over. I'm the one with the hangover. You're the one that should come over. Baby, would you roll over? Want you close, want you all over.
When you come close, I wanna touch your body, YOLO. When the sun's up, we be hangover. Then it's all over.
Baby, when you come close, wanna touch your body all over. When the sun's out, we be hangover. Then it's all over. Come steady now you're hangover. Otherwise I know you're hangover. Getting yellow, you're hangover. Getting through now you're hangover. Come steady now you're hangover. Otherwise I know you're hangover. Getting yellow, you're hangover.
I'm getting that day for the hangover. Then I sit on that beat, make it feel over.
Baby, won't you come close? I wanna touch your body, your love. When the sun's up, we be hangover. Then it's all over.
Baby, would you come closer? Wanna touch your body all over. When the sun's out, we'll be hungover. Then it's all over. Don't get it, now you're hungover. Otherwise, now you're hangover. Give me a little hangover. Get through, now you're hangover. Don't get it, now you're hangover. Otherwise, now you're hangover. Give me a little hangover. Get through, now you're hangover.
Quiero comerte viva, que tú sabes que soy hueco. Bailame suave que me pongo yo lento. Me inspira, quiere que sea su dueño. Y sería cubana con otro consecuente. Boxo, guapita. You can tell she no good mover. Very well disappear with the bad boys. Caramel on the Alabu Pomona. Every day.
Baby, won't you come close? I wanna touch your body, your love. When the sun's up, we be hangover. Then it's all over.